Arrival at Galactic Academy. The sleek silver shuttle glided through the iridescent atmosphere of Xenon 7, its hull gleaming under the light of 3 suns. Inside, Cadet Maya Rodriguez clutched her seat, her dark eyes wide with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. Beside her, Cadets Jamal Williams and Li Chen wore similar expressions of awe as they gazed out at the alien world that would be their home for the next 4 years. "I still can't believe we're here," Jamal murmured, his deep voice barely audible over the hum of the shuttle's engines. "First humans ever to attend the Galactic Academy of Sciences and Exploration." Lai nodded, her short black hair bobbing with emotion. "It's a lot to take in. I mean, look at that architecture." She pointed out the window at a sprawling complex of buildings that seemed to defy gravity, twisting and spiraling in ways that shouldn't have been possible. Maya swallowed hard, trying to quell the butterflies in her stomach. "Let's just hope we don't embarrass ourselves, or worse, the entire human race." As the shuttle touched down on a landing pad that shimmered like liquid mercury, the 3 human cadets gathered their belongings and prepared to disembark. The airlock hissed open, revealing a welcoming committee that looked like it had stepped out of a fever dream. A tall, willowy being with iridescent skin and 4 arms glided forward. Its voice, when it spoke, sounded like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. "Greetings, Terran cadets. I am Dean Zilix. Welcome to the Galactic Academy." Maya, elected as the unofficial spokesperson for the human trio, stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Thank you, Dean Zilix. We're honored to be here." The dean's multifaceted eyes blinked in a pattern that might have been surprise or amusement. It was hard to tell. "The honor is ours, Cadet Rodriguez. Your species has caused quite a stir in the galactic community. It's not every day we discover sentient life on a— what did your report call it?" Yes, a death world." Jamal coughed, trying to hide a chuckle. The humans had quickly learned that their homeworld's classification as a death world was a source of both fascination and horror for most alien species. Dean Zilix continued, gesturing with one of its 4 arms. "If you'll follow me, I'll show you to your quarters and provide a brief tour of the facilities." As they walked, the humans couldn't help but gawk at their surroundings. The academy was a marvel of alien engineering and aesthetics. Holographic displays flickered in midair, showing star charts and complex equations. Beings of all shapes, sizes, and consistencies moved through the halls, some floating, some slithering, some using anti-gravity devices to compensate for different gravitational needs. "This is the main atrium," Dean Zilix explained, leading them into a vast, open space that seemed to stretch endlessly upward. Here, students from all corners of the galaxy gather to study, socialize, and exchange ideas. Maya noticed several groups of alien students huddled together, whispering and pointing in their direction. She caught snippets of conversation in the universal translator embedded in her ear. "From a high-gravity world. Breathe corrosive gases. Supposedly ingest toxins for pleasure." Lai leaned in close to her companions. "I think we're the main attraction here," she whispered. Jamal grinned. "Well, can you blame them? We are pretty spectacular." Their banter was interrupted by a commotion near one of the atrium's many entrances. A group of reptilian beings with scales that shifted colors like oil on water were backing away from something, their faceted eyes wide with what looked like fear. "What's going on over there?" Maya asked, curiosity overcoming her initial shyness. Dean Zilix's skin rippled in what might have been the alien equivalent of a sigh. That would be Professor Crix and his pet." The crowd parted, revealing a squat, amphibious alien leading what appeared to be a large, shaggy dog on a glowing energy leash. The dog's tongue lolled out of its mouth as it panted happily, seemingly oblivious to the fear it was inspiring in the other students. "Is that—" Lai started, unable to finish her sentence. "A Terran canine, yes," Dean Zilix confirmed. "Professor Crix is our xenobiology expert. He's quite fascinated with Earth's fauna and insisted on bringing a dog to study. Most of the student body finds it unsettling. The three humans exchanged glances, fighting back laughter. The idea that a friendly golden retriever could be seen as a terrifying alien creature was both amusing and a stark reminder of just how different their perspectives were. Perhaps, Dean Zilix continued, oblivious to the humans' amusement, you could assist in acclimating your fellow students to the presence of Earth creatures. It would be an excellent opportunity for cultural exchange. We'd be happy to, Maya said, already imagining the chaos that would ensue if they introduced the concept of petting to their alien classmates. As they continued their tour, the humans gradually became aware of the subtle adjustments made to accommodate their physiology. The air had a slightly higher oxygen content, and the gravity was just a touch stronger than the Academy's normal settings. We've done our best to make you comfortable, Dean Zilix explained, noticing their realization. However, I must warn you that some areas of the Academy may still be challenging for your species, particularly the physical training facilities. Jamal raised an eyebrow. Challenging how, exactly? The Dean's skin shifted to a deeper hue. Well, the Galactic Standardized Physical Aptitude Test was designed with a wide range of species in mind. But given your world's unique properties, we're not entirely sure how you'll fare. Lai grinned, a competitive glint in her eye. When do we get to try it out? Eager, aren't you? Dean Zelix's tone held a mixture of admiration and concern. The first-year assessment is scheduled for next week, but perhaps it would be wise for you to observe a session before participating. Maya shook her head, her initial nervousness giving way to determination. With all due respect, Dean Zelix, we didn't come all this way to sit on the sidelines. Whatever this test is, we're ready for it. The Dean's multifaceted eyes blinked rapidly. Very well, but don't say I didn't warn you. The GSPAT has been known to humble even the most confident of species. As they reached their assigned quarters, a spacious suite adapted for their terrestrial needs, the three humans shared a look of excitement and resolve. They had come to the Galactic Academy not just to learn, but to prove that humanity deserved its place among the stars. Little did they know that their first true test would come sooner than expected, and its consequences would ripple through the Academy and beyond, forever changing the way the galaxy viewed the curious species from the death world called Earth. The impossible physical test. A week had passed since the human cadets' arrival at the Galactic Academy, and the day of the dreaded Galactic Standardized Physical Aptitude Test, GSPAT, had finally arrived. Maya, Jamal, and Lai stood at the entrance of the Academy's massive gymnasium, a structure that seemed to bend the laws of physics with its ever-shifting interior landscape. Remember, Maya said, her voice a mixture of excitement and nerves, whatever happens in there, we're representing Earth. Let's show them what Deathworlders can do. Jamal cracked his knuckles, grinning. I've been looking forward to this all week. Time to put all those years of CrossFit to good use. Lai rolled her eyes but couldn't hide her own smile. Just try not to show off too much muscles. We don't want to give the poor aliens a heart attack, or whatever they have instead of hearts. As they entered the gym, they were greeted by a cacophony of alien sounds and sights. Beings of all shapes and sizes were warming up, their bodies contorting in ways that made the humans' eyes water. At the center of it all stood Coach Exrix, a gelatinous blob that pulsed with bioluminescent patterns. Ah, the Terrans arrive. Coach Exrix's voice boomed, seemingly emanating from everywhere at once. I hope you're prepared for a challenge unlike anything you've faced on your quaint little world. The humans exchanged amused glances. If only the coach knew about Earth's gravity or its varied and often hostile environments. We'll do our best, Coach, Maya replied diplomatically. Excellent. Then let us begin with the first trial, the endurance labyrinth. The gym's floor began to shift and rise, forming a complex maze of obstacles. Walls of energy shimmered into existence, and the air itself seemed to thicken. Your goal is simple, Coach Exrix explained. Navigate the labyrinth and reach the other side. But be warned, the environment will change constantly, simulating conditions from across the galaxy. Most species can endure only a few minutes before succumbing to exhaustion or environmental stress. The alien students looked at the labyrinth with a mixture of determination and dread. Clearly, this was no ordinary obstacle course. Terrans, since you're new, would you like to observe a round before? Coach Exrix began, but Jamal cut him off. We're ready, Coach. Just point us to the starting line. The coach's gelatinous form rippled in what might have been surprise. Very well. Take your positions. As the humans lined up alongside their alien classmates, they could hear whispers of concern and disbelief. The poor creatures, they have no idea what they're in for. I heard their world has crushing gravity. Maybe they'll surprise us. Don't be ridiculous. No species can endure the full labyrinth on their first try. The starting signal pulsed. A vibration felt more than heard, and they were off. The first section of the labyrinth was deceptively simple, a series of twisting corridors with varying gravity. The humans found themselves bounding effortlessly in low-G sections and pushing through high-G zones that felt only slightly more challenging than Earth's normal gravity. This isn't so bad, Lai called out, easily keeping pace with Maya and Jamal. But as they progressed deeper into the maze, the true challenges revealed themselves. They entered a chamber where the air turned to a thick, soupy consistency, making every movement a struggle. Alien students around them began to falter, their bodies ill-equipped for the sudden change. The humans, however, pressed on. Their years of swimming and training in Earth's varied atmospheric conditions had prepared them well. They emerged from the thick air zone, gasping but still moving forward. Next came a stretch of burning heat, the floor becoming molten beneath their feet. Maya winced as she felt the soles of her Academy-issued shoes begin to melt. Keep moving, she shouted to her companions. It's not much worse than Death Valley in summer. They pushed through, their Deathworlder physiology allowing them to endure temperatures that sent their alien classmates into retreat. The heat gave way to bone-chilling cold, ice crystals forming on their skin. But again, the humans persevered, their bodies adapted to Earth's extreme temperature variations. As they navigated each new challenge, acid rain, zero gravity, even a brief stint through what seemed to be a methane swamp, the humans found themselves not just surviving, but thriving. The obstacles that pushed other species to their limits merely invigorated the Terran cadets. Finally, after what felt like hours but had likely been only 20 minutes, Maya, Jamal, and Lai burst through the final barrier and crossed the finish line. They stood there, panting and sweating, but grinning from ear to ear. The gym fell silent. Every alien eye, or sensory organ, was fixed on the three humans who had just accomplished the impossible. Coach Exrix's gelatinous form quivered, its bioluminescent patterns flashing in rapid, chaotic sequences. When it finally spoke, its voice was barely above a whisper. Impossible. You completed the entire labyrinth. On your first attempt. This has never happened in the history of the Academy. Jamal, still catching his breath, managed a cheeky grin. So, did we pass? The coach's form pulsed rapidly. Pass. Pass. You shattered every record we have. This changes everything we thought we knew about physical capabilities. As the reality of their achievement sank in, the human cadets began to realize the magnitude of what they'd done. They hadn't just passed a test. They'd fundamentally altered the galaxy's perception of what was physically possible. The other students, who had either given up partway through or were still struggling in the labyrinth, looked at the humans with a mixture of awe, disbelief, and, in some cases, fear. Maya, ever the diplomat, tried to downplay their success. We just got lucky, I guess. Good training back on Earth. But her words did little to quell the growing murmur among the alien students. Phrases like genetic engineering, hidden abilities, and potential threat began to circulate. Lai leaned in close to her companions. I think we might have overdone it a bit, she whispered. Jamal nodded, his earlier bravado fading as he noticed the wary looks they were receiving. Yeah, maybe we should have sandbagged it a little. Before they could discuss further, Dean Zilix burst into the gym, its normally serene features contorted with concern. What happened here? The Dean demanded. We've received alerts from every monitoring system in the facility. Coach Exrix's form rippled as it turned to address the Dean. The Terrans, they completed the labyrinth. All of it. In record time. Dean Zilix's multifaceted eyes blinked rapidly, focusing on the three humans. Is this true? Maya stepped forward, her posture straight despite her fatigue. Yes, Dean Zilix. We completed the course as instructed. Is that a problem? The Dean was silent for a long moment, its iridescent skin shifting through a kaleidoscope of colors. Finally, it spoke, its voice low and serious. Cadets, you've demonstrated abilities far beyond what we anticipated. This will have implications, political, social, perhaps even military. The Galactic Council will need to be informed. The gravity of the situation hit the humans like a physical force. What they had seen as a simple physical test had just catapulted them, and by extension, all of humanity, into the center of galactic attention. As Dean Zilix ushered them out of the gym, away from the whispers and stares of their classmates, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that their real test was just beginning. They had proven humanity's physical capabilities. Now they would have to navigate the complex web of galactic politics and prove that Earth deserved its place among the stars. The impossible gym test had been just the first step in a journey that would challenge not just their bodies, but their minds, hearts, and the very notion of what it meant to be human in a vast alien galaxy. Unintended consequences. The days following the humans' extraordinary performance in the GSP-AT were a whirlwind of activity at the Galactic Academy. News of their feats spread like wildfire through the campus and beyond, reaching the far corners of the known universe. Maya, Jamal, and Lei found themselves at the center of a storm they never could have anticipated. As they sat in their shared common room, the gravity of their situation began to sink in. The holographic news feeds floating around them were filled with reports and speculation about the Terran titans who had conquered the impossible test. I never thought I'd see the day when my gym performance would be galactic news, Jamal mused, his usual jovial tone tinged with worry. Lai nodded, her eyes fixed on a particularly sensationalist headline. Deathworlders, the next galactic superpower. She sighed. We came here to learn and represent Earth, not to start an interstellar incident. Maya, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke up. We need to be careful, very careful. The way some of these reports are framing us, it's like they see us as some kind of threat. Their discussion was interrupted by a soft chime at their door. It slid open to reveal Dean Zilix, its iridescent skin shimmering with what the humans had come to recognize as stress patterns. Cadets, the Dean's voice was grave. I'm afraid we have a situation. The Galactic Council has called an emergency session to discuss you. The three humans exchanged worried glances. This was escalating far beyond anything they had imagined. What does that mean for us, Dean? Maya asked, taking on her unofficial role as spokesperson. Dean Zilix's multifaceted eyes blinked in a rapid sequence. It means, Cadet Rodriguez, that you three are about to get a crash course in galactic politics. The Council has requested your presence at the session. Jamal let out a low whistle. Talk about being thrown into the deep end. Indeed, the Dean agreed. You'll be departing for the Council chambers on Centauri Prime within the hour. I suggest you prepare yourselves. This won't be like any test you've faced before. As Dean Zilix left to make the necessary arrangements, the human cadets found themselves scrambling to pack and prepare for a journey they never expected to make. Hours later, they stood before the imposing doors of the Galactic Council chambers. The architecture was a mind-bending fusion of organic and technological elements, designed to accommodate the vast array of species represented within. Remember, Maya whispered to her companions, we're not just representing ourselves anymore. We're representing all of humanity. The doors swung open silently, revealing a vast amphitheater filled with beings from across the galaxy. At the center, a raised dais held the seats of the Council Elders, the most influential and respected leaders of the galactic community. As the humans were led to a small podium at the center of the chamber, they could feel the weight of countless alien gazes upon them. Some were curious, others wary, and a few outright hostile. The lead Council Elder, a being of pure energy contained within a shimmering force field, addressed the assembly. Its voice resonated through the chamber, translated simultaneously into thousands of languages. We are gathered here today to address a matter of grave importance. The species known as humans, hailing from the planet Earth, classified as a Class 12 death world, have demonstrated physical capabilities that far exceed our previous understanding. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Maya stepped forward, her voice steady despite her nerves. Respected elders, esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we meant no alarm. We simply performed to the best of our abilities in a standard academy test. Another Council Elder, a being that seemed to be made of living crystal, spoke up. And therein lies the problem. Young human, what you consider standard has shaken the very foundations of our galactic community. Jamal, unable to contain himself, interjected. With all due respect, how is being in good shape a threat to galactic stability? The crystalline Elder's facets shimmered. It is not merely about physical prowess, Cadet Williams. Your species has evolved on a world that we considered uninhabitable. You've demonstrated resilience and adaptability that surpasses our wildest expectations. Some fear what this could mean if humanity were to expand its influence. Lai stepped forward, her analytical mind racing. You're worried we might be conquerors, she stated, realization dawning. But that's not who we are. We came to the Academy to learn, to become part of the galactic community. The energy being that led the council pulsed brightly. Noble sentiments, Cadet Chen. But history has shown us that even the most benign species can become a threat when given power they are not prepared for. As the debate raged on, with various council members and representatives voicing their concerns and opinions, the human cadets found themselves in a diplomatic minefield. Every word, every gesture was scrutinized and analyzed. Hours passed, feeling like days to the exhausted humans. Finally, a recess was called, allowing them a moment to gather their thoughts. This is insane, Jamal muttered as they huddled together in a small antechamber. They're talking about restrictions, about limiting human involvement in galactic affairs, all because we aced a gym test. Maya shook her head, her mind racing. It's more than that. We've inadvertently challenged their entire worldview. They thought they understood the limits of biological life, and we just proved them wrong. Lai, who had been quiet for much of the proceedings, suddenly perked up. That's it. Maya, you're a genius. Her companions looked at her quizzically. Care to share with the class? Lai, Jamal asked. Don't you see? We haven't just challenged their views. We've opened up new possibilities. If we can survive and thrive in conditions they thought impossible, imagine what we could learn from each other. As Lai explained her idea, a plan began to form. When the council resumed its session, the humans approached the podium with renewed purpose. Maya addressed the assembly, her voice clear and confident. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, we understand your concerns. Humanity's capabilities have come as a surprise to us all, but we propose to turn this challenge into an opportunity. She went on to outline a plan for collaborative research, suggesting that human physiological adaptations could provide insights into surviving extreme conditions, knowledge that could benefit countless species across the galaxy. We don't seek to conquer or dominate, Maya concluded. We want to contribute, to be part of something greater than ourselves. Let our unexpected strengths be a bridge between worlds, not a barrier. As Maya finished speaking, a hush fell over the council chambers. The lead elder's energy form, pulsed thoughtfully. "You present an intriguing perspective, Cadet Rodriguez. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our judgments." Discussions erupted throughout the chamber, with various factions debating the merits of the humans' proposal. It was clear that while not everyone was convinced, the tide of opinion was shifting. After what seemed like an eternity, the council reached a decision. The humans would be allowed to continue their studies at the Galactic Academy, but under close observation. Additionally, a new research initiative would be launched, focusing on the potential applications of human physiological adaptations. As the human cadets left the council chambers, exhausted but relieved, they realized that their greatest test had only just begun. They had earned humanity a chance. Now they had to prove that their species deserved its place among the stars. The unintended consequences of their impossible gym test had set them on a path that would shape not only their own futures, but the future of human-alien relations for generations to come. As they boarded the shuttle back to the academy, Maya, Jamal, and Lai shared a look of determination. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, as representatives of Earth and as pioneers of a new era of galactic cooperation. Collaborative challenge. Weeks had passed since the tumultuous Galactic Council session, and life at the Academy had settled into a new, if somewhat tense, routine. Maya, Jamal, and Lee found themselves at the center of an unprecedented interspecies research initiative, their every move scrutinized by curious classmates and wary instructors alike. As they made their way to the newly established cinephysiology lab, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking a tightrope. "Remember," she cautioned her friends, "we're not just lab rats here. We need to be active participants in this research." Jamal nodded, his usual grin tempered by the gravity of their situation. "Right. We're here to bridge gaps, not widen them." Lai, always the most scientifically minded of the trio, was practically buzzing with excitement. "This is our chance to really understand how we compare to other species. Think of the potential breakthroughs." As they entered the lab, they were greeted by a diverse team of alien scientists, each specialized in a different aspect of biology and physics. At the head of the team stood Professor Skrill, a towering insectoid being with compound eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. "Ah, our Terran subjects arrive." Skrill's mandibles clicked in what the humans had learned was a sign of excitement. "Today we begin to unravel the mysteries of your remarkable physiology." The following hours were a whirlwind of tests and examinations. The humans found themselves running on treadmills in various gravitational fields, submerged in tanks of exotic liquids to test their adaptability, and subjected to sensory stimuli that pushed the boundaries of their perception. As Lai emerged from a chamber designed to simulate extreme pressure environments, she couldn't help but laugh. "You know, when I dreamed of being a scientist, I didn't imagine I'd be the experiment." Professor Skrill's antennae twitched in confusion. "You find this amusing, Cadet Chen." Lai composed herself, realizing the cultural gap. "It's just a human way of dealing with stress, Professor. Humor helps us cope with unusual situations." This explanation seemed to fascinate Skrill even more than the physical tests. "Fascinating. A psychological adaptation to stress. We must add this to our study." As the day wore on, the atmosphere in the lab began to shift. The initial clinical detachment of the alien scientists gave way to genuine curiosity and even admiration. "It's remarkable," a gelatinous physicist named Blorick burbled, reviewing the data from Jamal's high-gravity endurance test. "Your musculoskeletal structure shouldn't be able to withstand these forces, and yet," Jamal, catching his breath, managed a smile. "Well, you should see me in the gym back on Earth. This is just a light workout." The joke, simple as it was, seemed to break down some invisible barrier. The alien scientists began to engage more directly with the humans, asking questions not just about their physical capabilities, but about their lives on Earth, their cultures, and their aspirations. Maya, always attuned to the subtle shifts in social dynamics, seized the opportunity. "You know, we're just as curious about all of you." Maybe we could set up some cultural exchange sessions. Learning goes both ways, after all. The suggestion was met with enthusiasm, and soon the lab had transformed from a sterile research environment into a hub of interspecies dialogue. Humans and aliens alike shared stories of their homeworlds, compared notes on the challenges of collaborative challenge. The suggestion was met with enthusiasm, and soon the lab had transformed from a sterile research environment into a hub of interspecies dialogue. Humans and aliens alike shared stories of their homeworlds, compared notes on the challenges of adapting to academy life, and found common ground in their shared passion for scientific discovery. As the day's session wound down, Professor Skrill called for everyone's attention. The insectoid scientist's compound eyes gleamed with an intensity that made the humans instinctively straighten their postures. Fellow researchers, esteemed Karen cadets, Skrill began, mandibles clicking rhythmically. Today's proceedings have been most illuminating. However, I believe we have only scratched the surface of what we can learn from each other. The professor's gaze swept across the assembled group. Therefore, I propose a collaborative challenge. One that will test not just the physical capabilities of our Terran friends, but the problem-solving skills of us all. A ripple of excitement passed through the crowd. Even the most reserved of the alien scientists leaned in, curiosity piqued. In 1 week's time, Skrill continued, we will simulate a crisis scenario in the Academy's holographic training chamber, a scenario that will require the unique strengths of multiple species to overcome. I challenge you all to form mixed teams and prepare for this event. Maya, Jamal, and Lai exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and apprehension clear on their faces. This was exactly the kind of opportunity they had hoped for, a chance to prove that humans could be valuable allies, not just potential threats. As the assembly dispersed, buzzing with discussion about the upcoming challenge, the human trio found themselves surrounded by eager alien classmates, all vying to team up with the intriguing Terrans. Looks like we're the popular kids now, Jamal quipped, a grin spreading across his face. Lai elbowed him playfully. Don't let it go to your head. We still have to prove ourselves. Maya nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. We should split up, she suggested. Cover more ground, learn from different species. We'll have a better chance of success that way. And so, over the next week, the Academy became a hive of interspecies collaboration. Maya found herself working closely with a group of aquatic beings, learning to communicate through bioluminescent patterns and mastering the art of three-dimensional thinking required for life in liquid environments. Jamal teamed up with a collection of silicon-based lifeforms, beings that could withstand extreme temperatures and pressures. He marveled at their crystalline thought processes, so alien yet so brilliant in their own way. Lai, ever the tech enthusiast, gravitated towards a group of cybernetically enhanced organisms. She dove deep into discussions about the interface between biology and technology, her mind alight with the possibilities. As the day of the challenge dawned, the entire academy was abuzz with anticipation. Students and faculty alike gathered in the observation deck overlooking the massive holographic chamber. Professor Skrill's voice boomed through the speakers. Your challenge begins now. You must work together to evacuate a space station orbiting a dying star. The station's systems are failing, radiation levels are rising, and you have limited resources. Good luck. The chamber shimmered, and suddenly the teams found themselves in a chaotic environment. Alarms blared, holographic crew members panicked, and the very floor beneath their feet shuddered with simulated instability. Maya's team sprang into action. Her human adaptability complemented the aquatic being's ability to navigate in 3 dimensions. Together, they coordinated the evacuation of lower decks that had been flooded with coolant. We need to reroute power to the life support systems, Maya called out, her voice carrying clearly through the water thanks to a hastily improvised translator. Her aquatic teammates pulsed in agreement, their tentacles flying over control panels with astonishing speed and precision. Meanwhile, Jamal and his silicon-based companions tackled the challenge of stabilizing the station's deteriorating outer hull. His human strength and dexterity, combined with their ability to withstand the extreme conditions of space, made for a formidable repair team. If we realign the shield emitters, Jamal suggested, his breath fogging up his helmet, we might be able to buy more time. His crystalline teammate vibrated in what Jamal had learned was their equivalent of enthusiastic agreement. Together, they ventured out onto the station's exterior, their complementary abilities allowing them to accomplish what neither could have done alone. Lee found herself at the heart of the station's command center, working furiously with her cybernetic teammates to hack into malfunctioning systems and coordinate the overall evacuation effort. We need to override the safety protocols on the escape pods, Lai muttered, her fingers flying over a holographic interface. Otherwise, they won't launch with the increased radiation levels. Her cybernetic partners interfaced directly with the station's computers, their enhanced processing speeds complementing Lai's intuitive problem-solving skills. As the simulated crisis reached its peak, with the star entering its final death throes, the various teams found themselves working in perfect synchronization. Abilities that had once seemed incompatible now meshed seamlessly, each species' strengths compensating for others. In the final moments, as the last escape pod jettisoned from the doomed station, a cheer erupted from the observation deck. The holographic chamber shimmered once more, returning to its neutral state, leaving the participants breathless but triumphant. Professor Skrill's voice, tinged with what sounded like genuine emotion, filled the chamber. Extraordinary. Simply extraordinary. In all my years, I have never seen such seamless cooperation between such diverse species. As the teams exited the chamber, there was a palpable shift in the atmosphere. The wariness and suspicion that had colored many interactions since the humans' arrival had given way to something new. Respect, admiration, and a genuine sense of camaraderie. Maya, Jamal, and Lai reunited, their faces flushed with exertion and excitement. "Did you see that?" Jamal exclaimed, his eyes wide with wonder. "The way Christax reshaped their body to seal the hull breach while I welded it shut, it was like we were made to work together." Lai nodded enthusiastically. And the processing speed of the cybers, combined with a human intuitive leap, we were able to crack systems I never thought possible. Maya smiled, a weight lifting from her shoulders. "I think we just proved that we're stronger together than apart. This is what we came here for. Not to show off or to dominate, but to learn and grow alongside other species." As they made their way to the debriefing session, surrounded by chattering classmates of all shapes and sizes, the human cadets felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had faced their greatest challenge yet, and emerged not as conquerors, but as collaborators. The impossible gym test that had started their journey now seemed like a distant memory. They had proven something far more important than mere physical prowess. They had shown that humanity had the potential to be a unifying force in the galaxy, bridging gaps between species and fostering cooperation in the face of adversity. As they settled in for the debriefing, ready to analyze their performance and learn from their alien classmates, Maya, Jamal, and Lai shared a knowing look. Their adventure at the Galactic Academy was far from over, but they had taken a giant leap forward in securing humanity's place among the stars. A new understanding. The success of the collaborative challenge marked a turning point in the humans' experience at the Galactic Academy. As news of their remarkable teamwork spread, the atmosphere on campus underwent a subtle but significant shift. The wary glances and hushed whispers that had followed Maya, Jamal, and Lai since their arrival gave way to curious questions and invitations to study groups. One particularly balmy evening, as the Academy's three suns set in a spectacular display of color, the human cadets found themselves at the center of an impromptu gathering in the Academy's arboretum. Surrounded by bioluminescent flora from 100 worlds, they sat with a diverse group of alien classmates, engaged in animated discussion. "I still can't believe how you navigated that flooded section, Maya," burbled Zix, an amorphous being from a water world. "The way you adapted to moving in 3 dimensions so quickly, it's astounding." Maya smiled, her dark eyes twinkling in the soft glow of the surrounding plants. It wasn't so different from scuba diving back on Earth. Though I have to say, your ability to change your body density at will is something I envy. Nearby, Jamal was deep in conversation with Kristax, his silicon-based teammate from the challenge. So you're saying that on your world, thinking and computing are essentially the same thing? Jamal asked, fascination evident in his voice. Kristax's crystalline form shimmered in affirmation. Indeed, the concept of a separate computer is quite foreign to us. But I must admit, the intuitive leaps your organic brain makes are most intriguing. Lai, ever the tech enthusiast, was engrossed in a holographic display projected by one of her cybernetic classmates. The potential applications of this human-machine interface are mind-boggling, she mused. Imagine if we could combine your processing power with our creative problem-solving. As the night wore on, the conversation flowed freely, touching on topics ranging from the philosophical implications of different cognitive structures to the simple joys of experiencing new sensory inputs. The humans found themselves learning as much as they were teaching, their understanding of the universe expanding with each passing moment. It was well past midnight when Dean Zilix approached the group, its iridescent skin glowing softly in the dim light. "I hope I'm not interrupting," the Dean said, its melodious voice tinged with an emotion the humans had learned to recognize as pride. The gathered students quickly made room for the Dean, a hush falling over the Arboretum. "I just received word from the Galactic Council," Zilix continued, its multifaceted eyes focusing on the human cadets. "Your performance in the collaborative challenge, combined with the data from our ongoing research, has led to a significant decision." Maya, Jamal, and Lai exchanged nervous glances. Despite their recent successes, they knew that their status in the galactic community was still precarious. The Council has voted to officially recognize Earth as a full member of the Galactic Federation, Dean Zilix announced, its skin rippling with patterns of joy. Furthermore, they have approved an expansion of the exchange program. More humans will be invited to join the Academy, and representatives from other species will be given the opportunity to study on Earth. A cheer erupted from the assembled students, the Arboretum coming alive with a cacophony of alien sounds of celebration. Maya felt tears of joy welling up in her eyes. Jamal pumped his fist in triumph, and Lei found herself enveloped in a group hug by her cybernetic classmates. As the initial wave of excitement subsided, Dean Zilix raised a limb for silence. "There is more," the Dean said, its voice taking on a more serious tone. "The Council has also requested that you three, as Earth's first representatives to the Academy, take on a new role." The human cadets straightened, their attention focused intently on the Dean's words. The weight of this new responsibility settled over Maya, Jamal, and Lai. It was an enormous task, but one they realized they had been preparing for since the moment they set foot on the Academy grounds. "Dean Zilix," Maya spoke, her voice steady and determined. "We would be honored to accept this mission. We came here to learn and to prove that humanity deserves a place among the stars. If we can help build bridges between worlds, we'll do everything in our power to succeed." Jamal nodded in agreement. "After all," he added with a grin, "we've already proven we can handle just about any physical challenge the galaxy can throw at us." Lai chimed in, her analytical mind already racing with possibilities. "And think of the scientific and cultural exchange opportunities. We have so much to learn from each other." Dean Zilix's skin shimmered with approval. "Your enthusiasm is most heartening. I have no doubt that you will face challenges on your journey, but I believe you have shown us all that with cooperation and understanding, even the most daunting obstacles can be overcome." As the news spread through the Academy and beyond, Maya, Jamal, and Lei found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of preparations. There were briefings to attend, cultural sensitivity training to complete, and a myriad of diplomatic protocols to memorize. But through it all, they held on to the lessons they had learned since their arrival at the Academy. They had come as outsiders, viewed with suspicion and fear because of their Deathworlder status. They were leaving as bridges between worlds, their unique strengths now seen as valuable assets in a diverse galactic community. On the eve of their departure for their first diplomatic mission, the three humans stood on a balcony overlooking the Academy grounds. The alien world that had seemed so foreign when they arrived now felt like a second home. "It's hard to believe how much has changed," Lai mused, her gaze sweeping over the impossibly beautiful alien landscape. "All because we aced a gym test." Jamal chuckled, shaking his head. Who would have thought that being in shape would lead to galactic diplomacy? Maya smiled, a determined glint in her eye. "We've been given an incredible opportunity. A chance to show the galaxy the best of what humanity has to offer." As they stood there, on the cusp of a new adventure, the human cadets felt a profound sense of purpose. They had come to the Galactic Academy to prove that Earth deserved its place among the stars. They were leaving as ambassadors of a new era of interspecies cooperation, ready to face whatever challenges the vast, wondrous universe might throw their way. The impossible gym test that had started their journey was now just the first chapter in an ongoing story. A story of understanding, growth, and the incredible potential that emerges when diverse beings come together in pursuit of a common goal. As the Academy's three suns began to rise, painting the alien sky in breathtaking hues, Maya, Jamal, and Lai shared a look of excitement and determination. Their greatest adventure was just beginning, and the galaxy would never be the same.